Labour MP Jonathan Hinder recently spoke to The Spectator magazine on YouTube. He argued for economic radicalism accompanied with social conservatism. I can say that I agree with that. We should have a competent migration policy instead of the astronomical levels of net migration and the dangerous small boat crossings across the English Channel. But also, we should have safe and legal routes to provide pathway for people to seek refuge in our nation, alongside an evidence-based annual migration plan that takes into account the needs of our economy and the capacity of our public services to deal with the influx of people. We should have that. And that is not centrism. That is not conservatism. That is pragmatism. And that is how we should govern our migration policy, based on what we actually have the ability to do. On gender, we should recognize, for the sake of public safety, that biological gender has to take precedence when protecting single-sex spaces. That is the common sense position. That is the progressive position. But we also have to safeguard the rights and freedoms of minorities. On equality, diversity, and inclusion, we should have merit-based hiring and application acceptance. But also, we should have systems in place to mitigate institutional racism and to counteract contextual factors and institutional barriers that prevent people from accessing opportunity. But most importantly, alongside all of this sensible, pragmatic social stance that we need to start embracing and that Labour is starting to embrace, we also have to recognize that neoliberal orthodoxy is broken. So radicalism is needed in some places, not merely the sensible path, but the path that upends the established order the most in favor of something better. We need a radical new economic system. We can no longer be choked and suppressed by the bond markets, the exploitative interest economy, and the shameless hypocrisy of stagnation and continuity. Andy Burnham, of course, did offer a vision to combat this, but he was hounded out from advancing to power. He was blockaded every step of the way. We need radical change to create a fair society that serves the many, not the few. And the way that we do that is by embracing economic radicalism and social pragmatism.